Hey friends, Easter is coming this weekend, and for those of us who celebrate Easter, it can be a pretty big holiday with lots of family gatherings and lots of fun and big dinners. And so I want to talk about how we can help our kids, especially our kids from hard places with early trauma histories, how we can help them have a good holiday and be successful in staying regulated, because the smallest things can be kind of tough for our kids. So I'm going to share 6 points very briefly, and some of them are really, really simple, but I'm going to share them with you anyhow, because sometimes even I forget the most simple things, even after all these years. So first of all, point number 1 is sleep. Our kids need sleep. If you're traveling, if you have out-of-town guests, if you just have lots of activities going on, they're still going to need sleep. So as much as possible, for their sake and for yours, try to keep their sleep routines and their bedtime routines as normal as you possibly can. And personally for me, if I'm either hosting people or if we're the guests, I do a whole lot better if I stay in my own sleep routines and get enough sleep as well. So sleep, number 1. Number 2, have high protein foods available for kids and for us. Actually, all these tips actually work for us as well as our children. But have high protein foods available. If your kids will eat hard-boiled eggs, well, there you go. You've got Easter eggs, so that's kind of perfect. Having cheese, nuts, beef jerky, pepperoni, things like that available for kids is very, very helpful for keeping their blood sugar regulated, helping them to fill up on some things that are going to help them stay feeling good before they get some of the other treats going. We had one Christmas where I was thinking a lot about this, and Calcadon really loved spicy foods and she really loved meat. And so I bought a bag of pepperoni and little pepperoni sticks, and I just put them out in a bowl, and I really didn't limit her. I just said, you know, these are for you. This is a special treat for you. And the other kids could have them as well, but that was a very successful thing for her and for us. So then third, treats. There are going to be treats this weekend. Most families, you're going to have candy, you're going to have special desserts, and you know, I'm fairly relaxed about food and I'm able to be with my kids, but what I would say is if there's a particular treat you do not want your children to eat, if your kids are sensitive to artificial coloring and you don't want them eating jelly beans and things, be sure to provide a good alternative. Just saying no is really triggering for our kids who, for the most part, they really want to be like everybody else. They don't want to stand out. They don't want to be different. So have a good alternative for them that will not be disappointing to them if they can't have a particular treat that is being offered. And make sure it's a good one. Fourth, at the dinner table, you know, many of us are going to have family meals and gatherings around the table. Now, I know we spend time with our kids normally working on table manners and things. A holiday is not the time to work on that. I would just say keep it as light and easy as possible. If your child is doing something that's very aversive, that has to be addressed, I would address them as privately as possible. Many of our kids have a deep core of shame, and if we correct them in front of guests, they're going to feel very ashamed, and that is not going to lend itself well to a happy, regulated holiday. Fifth, sensory input. Many of our kids have a lot of energy. They need a lot of sensory stimulation. Those kids, we want to make sure we get them outside, you know, go for a walk, jump on the trampoline if you have a trampoline like we do. In their Easter baskets, put jump ropes, put bubbles, put, let me think, there was something else I was thinking, sidewalk chalk, things that keep their little bodies moving. If you're not going to be in a position where you're going to be outside a lot or both inside and outside, Play-Doh is a great thing to put in kids' Easter baskets because it's a really good sensory experience for them. And I also wanted to mention, again, the value of bubblegum as a calming tool. I have another video about that, and I will put that in the notes. So bubblegum is a good thing to put in their Easter baskets. And again, if you're concerned about dyes and sugar and things, there are healthy alternatives. My kids would be most excited if I gave them a pack of Bubble Yum, and in fact, I may do that. And they seem to handle that okay. Lastly, 6th point, keep it simple. Don't try to do elaborate things where your expectations get really high of how things are going to work out, because when our expectations are too high, our kids are more likely not to meet them. So we want to set the bar at a reasonable low level that our kids can successfully get over. I would not recommend that you buy brand new itchy clothes or shoes that your child is going to be uncomfortable in, because they won't want to wear them, and then you're going to be super disappointed that they won't wear the adorable new things that you bought for them. So be very, very realistic about what they're going to wear on Easter Sunday. They should probably be comfortable in whatever it is that they're going to wear, because the last thing you want is a child melting down over a tag, poking them in the back of their neck during Easter service. So, my kids are older now. Some of these things are not an issue for us anymore. However, that being said, even for us this Sunday, we will hopefully get outside and the boys will be throwing the football around. We might go for a short walk or a hike just to get us all moving. I'm fixing a simple meal. So, friends, there's nothing much easier than a ham. Throw it in the oven, you're good to go. So if you're celebrating Easter in a traditional way, make a ham. It couldn't be much easier than that. And I'll have plenty of snacks. I'll be putting out cheese. I'll be putting out nuts, things that I want my kids to snack on before they have candy. So those are my 6 very simple tips for an easy, hopefully calm Easter holiday for our families. I hope you enjoy celebrating. And if you're not familiar with me, I should have said this at the very beginning, but my name's Lisa Qualls. I blog at onethankfulmom.com. I hope that this little video is helpful to you. Have a very wonderful weekend. Thanks so much.